are streaming, and I'll get your microphone on. The clip thing on it broke, so I literally don't know what happened. I never took this one out of the bag, and then I took it out, and it was like the clip part was broken. So I'm just gonna point it at you. Cool. There. Yeah, it's a little quiet. We'll get it closer in there next time. All right. Welcome to my channel, Trans Laboratory, and also my mind bodywork practice. And I'm so glad to have you here today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here today.
Thanks. Thanks for coming. This is, oh, I'm not even in the shot. Cool. I'm just going to snuggle right up on you. Okay. This is Arthur. He's one of my very good friends. We've known each other quite a while now, several years. Yeah, several years. And I'm very delighted that he joined me for this bodywork practice today. We've been through a lot together.
Yeah, it's been a crazy life.
It has, it has. And Arthur's wish for today is like a bliss rush. So we titled the video Bliss Rush, and that's what we're aiming for today. I like to think that we can always create an intention and follow the threads and get the clues to wind up where we want to go with massage therapy, skilled touch therapies, body work. All right, shall we head inside?
Yeah, let's head inside.
All right. Do you mind just carrying your little microphone, doodad? That's okay. My friend Mika cuts the videos up afterward. I mean, like, we use some AI also, but she's gonna just take this live stream and chop all the boring parts out. Where's your phone, love? Okay. Let's go through here. We'll make it look natural. All right. Come on in. So we're doing a live bodywork session with Arthur. Arthur's super cool. Is there anything I shouldn't tell people, like, about you? Like,
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Pretty sure I'm not open book.
You're like, I don't want to talk about it in front of the camera now. Why doesn't we have this conversation? Okay, go ahead and take a seat right down here. And we're just going to chit-chat a little bit about your health overall. Make sure that I have a clear idea of anything that we need to be careful with. I'm going to drop this down. Okay. So instead of, I don't know, you said you've never had.
No, I've never had a professional massage, so.
You've never had a professional massage?
No.
All right. Well, today's the day.
Today is the
And so if you had a professional massage, you would be familiar with the intake form, which most people receive these forms, and they're like a list of everything that could possibly be wrong with you. And you're supposed to sit there and like circle all the bad things that would apply to you. But I think that's not very relaxing as a way to start. So I'd rather just go through and discuss like each of the systems of your body and have this more kind of conversational interaction. That's usually what I do with all my clients, although I often have my computer and I'm writing stuff down. I'm way offside, so no one can see me here. I'm getting all the way up in your girl here. Okay. So Your skin system. Is there anything going on with your skin that you would like me to know about?
No, I don't think so. I mean, occasional like pimple or something,
Sure,
but
sure.
nothing else like really comes to my mind.
Okay. No allergies or sensitivities?
No, not skin wise.
Perfect. Okay. How about your bones and your skeleton? Everything feel good there?
Yeah, my knees have been, I was doing a lot of squats, so they've been a little bit sore lately.
Okay. Joints are a little tender at the knees.
That's about it. And like maybe muscular wise, like something on this arm around here. I don't know if it's like a tendon or something.
Okay.
It's just a little bit.
Got
Could use some work. It just
some
seems like
tenderness
it's strained, like when I use it,
Uh-huh.
and like stretching it doesn't help, or like yeah, moving it doesn't seem to do anything.
Just on the right side, you're
Mhm.
feeling that. Okay. Good to know. Anything else going on with your muscle system that you notice?
No, that was a big one.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see. How about digestive system? Is that usually comfortable for you?
Yeah, that's usually comfortable.
Good. Heartbeat for like regular rhythm, keeps up with you.
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's like fast, faster than most people's like resting.
Okay.
But
Is that something you've been measuring or that's like a sense you have?
that was something I was measuring. I didn't like know
Okay.
that before.
Okay.
But
Pick that up with like, how did you measure that? Tell me about that.
oh my god, one of those watches. I don't have it with me today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the biometrics watches. Honestly, I feel like we were taught to ignore a lot of our body signals, and those biometric watches, like keeping track of stuff that, if we were in a more wild lifestyle, we probably would intuitively be tracking better, right?
Yeah,
but
true.
it helps us pull back into the information of the body, be more aware of that. How about your oxygen, breathing, respiratory system? What are your lungs doing? Normally keeping up with you?
um, they're normally keeping up with me. I've been like, I'm an off non-smoker, so sometimes they're better than others.
Okay, yeah.
Some days are better than
You
others.
notice a difference connected to how much you're smoking? Or does it seem more like generalized?
It seems more generalized. Whenever if there's ever like a problem where I feel like sick from it, then I usually just stop smoking and problem solved.
Yeah. Give it a little break. Yeah. The lungs are super resilient, amazingly, for all that we put them through. They actually do start healing really fast. Cool. Let's see. Anything going on with your nervous system that you notice? Probably the easiest to catch is like numbness, tingling, sensation issues.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. How about any like anxiety, depression stuff?
I'd say it's pretty normal or like situational.
Yeah.
So,
Situational.
Nothing chronic.
That's a really important distinction to register, that like the sensation of being sad when it's appropriate is not pathological, because we can kind of get the ambient sense in society a lot of the time right now is like, if you can't just be happy all the time, then there's something wrong with you. But there's a purpose to sadness.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm glad that you're feeling that connectedly.
It creates the opposites in life.
Yeah,
I can feel both sides more.
Absolutely, the contrast.
The deeper you go on one side, the deeper you can go on the other.
Yeah. Absolutely. Highest highs, lowest lows, eh? Yeah. Okay. Any other health concerns that have come up for you? You know?
Yeah, no, nothing like recently. I feel pretty healthy now.
Okay, good. Excellent. Other questions that I always screen everybody for is, have you ever had any diagnosis of cancer?
No.
Okay, never been treated for that. Any history with like lymphatic problems of any kind? Like swelling that was unpredictable or not normal seeming?
No, I mean, is it pretty normal when you get like swelling when you have like a cold or like
Sure.
sinus infection or something?
Yeah, when just your immune system is having a normal activation.
Totally. Other than that, nothing. Yeah, nothing I can think of.
Okay, cool. That's an important question for the amount of impact that massage therapy can have, especially if we're going for that rush sensation and we're like gonna dive a little deep probably. That'll really trigger the lymphatic system to respond. And so if you're healthy, it's great and it just like helps sweep everything through. Sometimes people have pre-existing injuries or conditions where that can be something that we want to be more careful with. Would you say that you are good at asking for help?
No.
Not really.
No, I feel like I was always felt like I need to be super independent, and if I was asking for help, then it was wrong or bad.
I hear you. Yeah. Okay. These questions just help me kind of sort through what's up with your nervous system as well. And when you do decide to ask for help, every once in a while, when you like really have to, do you have people in place that help you out? Like, can you trust your support system?
I guess it depends on what it is. Like, I was thinking more like at work when you like need help with a project or something. You're like, oh, I can do this on my own. When actually it'd be easier if more people help.
If somebody else picked up the other end.
Yeah. But I guess emotionally, yeah, there's always somebody I can call. They're not always like close, but
yeah. Okay, cool. Any other questions for me? Or anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'm just excited to have my first massage today.
So yeah.
Let you know how that goes.
I'm super excited for you to have your first massage. The first one is always like a really interesting measure of where your body is at. And I feel like people are almost always very surprised by how far they can go in the direction of, in your case, this like bliss rush experience. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's rate, are you in pain at all? Anywhere in the body?
No.
You said you had some tenderness there, some tenderness in the knees, but nothing is what you would call pain. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a 0. How about just general relaxation status? How calm do you feel? Scale of like 0 being no excitement or activation, 10 being very nervous, like almost vomiting from nervousness.
I guess like 4 probably.
Okay. And on your conceived bliss rush scale of 1 to 10, 10 being total bliss rush. Where do you put yourself right now?
Like a 1, like not very blissful or like having any sort of rush. So
not blissed or rushed yet. So that's the goal for today. Okay. I am going to pull the camera with me. I'll step out and let you undress to your comfort level. So some people leave everything on. Some people take everything off. It doesn't matter to me at all. I will control for your privacy with the sheet. I'll probably pop on the AC because it's getting pretty warm in here. So I'll let it start cooling down before I pop back in. And I'll give you a few minutes to settle in. Let's start face down. And I'll help you adjust the cushions when I get back in and we'll get started. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. I'll grab that from you. And here we go. See you soon.
See you soon.
Okay. So I'm just tucking myself into the next room while he changes here. And I'm so glad that you joined us today. What we're aiming for is to just introduce Arthur to the massage therapy experience, give him a chance to see what it's all about, and check in on his personal bodywork goals. And I really love Arthur. He's a close friend of mine and I care about him a lot. And I'm really excited that he volunteered to be out here with me today and super excited to see what we can do. Since he is aiming for what he described as a bliss rush, I'm thinking that we want to really kick off his endorphins. And so we're going to go for some fairly deep work, and I'll be really tuning in to measure his response and feel how his nervous system is receiving me so I can kind of take him to that edge. I'll explain to him when I get back in there, but what I want to basically aim for is for him to be at kind of a 7 out of 10 on the intensity of what he can tolerate. And we're going to hold that for as long as possible and really just stimulate the deep neuroreceptors in his tissue to give him a huge amount of neurological feedback and kick his endocrine system into a bit more of a alert, energized, excited state. So we do want to kick off some reasonable amount of cortisol, maybe a little bit of adrenaline when we're pushing at the edges of what he can handle in that like hurts so good kind of way. And that's the goal for today. So I'm going to take a minute and wash my hands, and we'll be back with you shortly. How's this sound right now? Tuck his phone down. All right, are you guys excited? I'm really excited. Okay, so normally I have music playing and the fountain on and stuff, but we want to kind of protect what you guys can hear the whole time that I'm working this time. So we're all set. Okay. Got this clip mic. I'm gonna set it right there and hopefully that's not in your way. Okay. Okay. Here we go. All right. You taking a few deep breaths?
Yeah, just sitting here, breathing.
Awesome. I have a little notebook with a reminder of stuff that I'm supposed to say. So I gotta grab this. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna actually line the camera up here so that we can really see how your back is responding as I start opening up your spinal column. This is usually how I'll kick it off. And how's your neck feeling right now?
I would say it's pretty sore this morning.
Generally a little stiff?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at the way that your muscles of your neck are lining up along your spine, and they look like they're in pretty good shape, but I actually want to just adjust this slightly and drop it down for you. Does that feel like an improvement?
Yeah.
Okay. So we always want to just get as comfortable as possible before we get going. And I'm going to grab your feet, your ankles for a minute and kind of feel all the way through the resonance of how your skeleton is fitting together. Pull on some of those fascia planes. and get a sense of any structural concerns that we might have. And since we're focusing on this bliss rush goal for your massage experience today, I am thinking we're going to be doing fairly deep work. And I want to just make sure that you are totally clued into how we can help each other best and really communicate clearly through this. So, number one, I don't want you to have any experience that's like actual pain. If you are getting a sense like you are having to hold yourself still and not jump off the table, like the impulse to run away is really kicking up, then definitely tell me. But in order to get those endorphins going, we do want to kind of stimulate a more intense experience, and we want to hit the mechanoreceptors that are relatively deep tissue. And so those are the nerve endings that are all the way down in your like fascia and your deep muscles, deep tissue. So that's what we mean when we say deep tissue massage, is that we're like getting at the muscles and the connective tissue that's like closest to the bones, if that makes sense. It doesn't mean that it's like really painful or intense. We can do really effective deep tissue just slowly and be quite gentle. But since you are wanting that little bit of an adrenaline junkie endorphin experience, I want to keep us at around 7 out of 10 on the like intensity that you can tolerate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, so if you're finding that I am a little low, especially if you're getting like a tickly sensation, that usually means that you need firmer pressure. And if you are getting a sense of like wanting to run away, then we're a little bit high. So you can always use verbal clues to adjust me up and down. 10% deeper, Adele, please, etc. And we also do want to get, even though we're going for intensity, we want your parasympathetic nervous system to be kicking up as strongly as possible. So we want to induce pretty strong relaxation. And anything that's distracting you in your sensory experience, we want to kind of address that quickly. So if your temperature is not right, or usually I have music playing, so I'd let people know we can change the sounds if you need anything like that. Just if it's stopping you from zoning as deeply as possible into your body and keeping you aware of the external world, then I want to know about it so that we can fix it. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, as of now, it seems like good temperature. Yeah, nothing too noisy.
Awesome check-in.
Sounds good.
Good. All right. So I'm grabbing into your sacrum a little bit, balancing here. Have good access. Sacrum is super important because there are a ton of really significant nerves that are emerging right through here and that are going to innervate all the way down your legs and give you a lot of information and give instructions to all of those big muscles that are operating your legs and your balance and everything. So there's a huge amount of information going from the lower parts of the body up into the brain, and they're joining into the central nervous system right here. So I like to spend a lot of time just really being aware here. And we got a little bit of a jump response. I'm not on super deep pressure right now. I would say of the pressure that I can produce, this is like a 3 or 4. But we are starting to get a little bit of muscular jumping. So that's where a protective reflex gets triggered. And that's awesome. It's a good sign because a lot of times those reflexes are sensitized by an experience that we have, and then it doesn't quite resolve, and the circuit of the actual electrical impulse in the nervous system stays a little activated. So when we find those and we let them kind of clear out, that tends to improve overall coordination.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to make you like fight to stay there, but we do want to kind of comb through these areas that have a little more reactivity or like involuntary contraction pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm picking up more on the right side than the left so far. Haven't dug down into there. We have one viewer. Hey viewer, would you mind letting me know, did the microphone sound okay right now? Last time it was super quiet all the way through, and then afterward it was like, shit, we can't really use this. All right. So I'm still at moderate pressure, but starting to get a feeling. I do a lot of elbow work. Some people use their elbows a lot. Some people use their elbows less. And for practitioners, it's definitely like a learning curve to sensitize your forearms to be able to listen into the client's body. I've been doing this a long time, and I've had the benefit of receiving some really beautiful forearms, elbows centric, lomi work. I am not myself a lomi practitioner. That involves like really specific lineage training from these groups of instructors and students that are passing pretty specific heritage knowledge. And so I don't ever claim to be a lomi practitioner, but I do actually work with a lot of lomi practitioners, and I teach the anatomy physiology section at our local lomi hale, the school here in Hilo. And so I get to be exposed to quite a lot of it and get to pick up kind of on an intuitive element or just experiential side. Some good exposure to that. So I do like to incorporate quite a lot of it into my work. Your structure feels good overall.
Like, what do you mean, muscular or like skeletal?
Both. The way that they're interacting with each other feels like there's not a lot of imbalance or torsion. There's a little bit of looseness in the sense of, I would say your connective tissue is running a little bit actually mechanically longer than average. Not by a lot, like still well within the range of, you know, people function. But do you ever notice that like you find yourself a little more naturally flexible than a lot of people?
No, not really, actually.
Haven't noticed that?
No, I think it's like I need to work on it. Like doing the splits or something isn't very
Oh
easy.
yeah, totally. Totally. Doing the splits is not exactly natural for anybody, to be honest. But the movement that I'm picking up at your joints, I'm pretty happy with. That they're fairly stable. They're not super inclined to like a distorted alignment. And they're giving you a little bit of reasonable amount of play. That idea of like from one bone to another, they can move relative to each other pretty comfortably. All right. So every practitioner kind of develops their own style. A lot of what happens in a bodywork session, honestly, has a lot to do with the way that our nervous systems are going to resonate on each other and kind of the sensitivities that we play back and forth as primates that are really specialized for community and for connection within the tribe were like extremely sensitive to the fine changes in each other's nervous systems and the information there. In most of our daily lives, people are having to turn that information down and ignore it quite a bit. But during a session like this, we have a chance to use it to our advantage and kind of practice tuning into a nervous system that is rehearsed in that calm theta brainwave state. So I'm going to let myself start kind of zoning out a bit here now that we've got a good read on your structure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Grabbing a fresh bottle. Okay, what's in my oil bottle right now? I have a lot of Lang Lang and Atlas cedarwood.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that nice? Let's get this. This is the weirdest part about filming is I'm always like trying to change the camera angle so people can't even see what my hands are doing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to teach massage therapy right now so much as just give an example of the impact that skilled touch can make and the way that we can use this like most ancient medicine available to humans to really change the state. So like we said, we're going for this. I'm just going to be a little repetitive. Okay. So we're going for this bliss rush experience. So we want to really kick up a lot of endorphins. So right now we're still settling in a bit, but I want to use a fair amount of pressure and really stimulate that deep tissue mechanoreceptor system that's embedded in the fascia and the periosteum, which is the material that's wrapping around the bones that makes it possible for connective tissue and muscles to tie into the surface of the bones. And all of that is super loaded with nervous system tissue as well. There's nerve endings going literally everywhere in the body. Okay, we have really good development of these erector spinae muscles. And then through the rhomboids especially, I'm picking that up. Do you tend to get a little bit sore right here at times? Or like up through here?
More
This whole
there.
area? Yeah.
More up to there. I didn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it feels sore now, but it's not
right.
something I noticed before.
A little prompting. I can bring it up. And that is connected to what you were describing. It was the right shoulder, right, that you were saying?
Yeah.
Gets more sensitive. So that front location in the right shoulder can really be picking up some strain from these muscles being activated all the time. Got some of those good jumps. It makes me want to slow down and dive a little deeper. Okay, now we've got this bundle of muscle fibers. You don't have to think too hard about what I'm saying. Like your mind will just kind of casually absorb it in the background without necessarily processing it. You don't feel like you have to respond to me. But what I'm picking up here is the directionality of these muscle fibers and the way that they're clustering. Definitely right through here we have a system where there's like habitual kind of postural tendencies that are distorting the way that your scapula, this bone right here, is trying to sit. And so I want to diffuse any areas of like involuntary tension that are stopping the scapula from returning all the way to its natural position. And this is still just kind of cruising. I want to make sure that I'm not driving any existing structural situations deeper into your system as we turn the pressure up gradually here. We want to have this structure be more stabilized and appropriately rotated before I jump in for that really endorphin inducing level of pressure. There we go. Can you follow the difference of the placement of the scapula right there? Nice. Your breath is kind of automatically kicking in. Go ahead and let that deeper abdominal breathing start to activate here. Yeah. There's a lot of motility in these bundles of muscles right here where they're moving around kind of a lot. So I want to help them map on a neuromuscular level so that your brainstem, the parts of your brain that are coordinating the movement of your body, have more information to work with, and they can automatically use that to get more spatial awareness and baseline coordination. And that is a proven benefit of massage, improved coordination. Especially regular massage. That's why high-level athletes get a lot of massage, not just to stimulate tissue repair, but because it literally improves baseline coordination increases that sense of spatial awareness. It helps us track in finer detail where our body is moving through space. And feeling your nervous system dropping out a bit. We're hitting that more parasympathetic load in the nervous system where voluntary and kind of cognitive processing is stepping out of the way a little bit, and that somatic awareness is turning up higher. The sensibility of what exactly is happening inside the body is coming into better focus experientially now. It's just always what's going on with the nervous system as we get that cognitive activity out of the way in the amount of load that the nervous system is carrying, then we're going to get more of that deep internal awareness. And that's going to trigger a range of changes. I'm always focusing on the nervous system, but today we're especially focusing on the endocrine system to kick up this sense of bliss and rush. I'm so glad that you chose those terms. Nice. I'm seeing that abdominal breath increase. As that voluntary, involuntary coordination is activating. We get that nervous system finding its way, sitting right there. Okay. I do want to spend a little more time on the neck here. I'm gonna just that. Yeah. Okay. So neck muscles are always working pretty hard, especially with modern lifestyle. A lot of time on technology really keeps our chins pointed in a way that's not quite ergonomical for the way that the neck is designed. So we get these kind of bundles of muscular effort that are placed a little bit less structurally here. So we want to just remind all the neck muscles to open up and drop deeper. You're responding beautifully. Got a little bundle here where this is quite strapping. The way that muscles work is almost as though if you picture hairs that are all coming from sort of the same place, but they're also going into the same place. And each one can individually become shorter as it gets instructions from the central nervous system. And so the groupings of muscles are operating that way, where we have the instructions coming down the nervous system, going into the muscles. And this is something that a lot of times it's easy to ignore. The impact of the nervous system on the muscular system. We don't talk about it a lot. We talk a lot more about muscles individually. But as the muscles contract, as those individual fibers contract, we really want good coordination between the groupings of the fibers. So they're receiving kind of separate instructions in their own little groups, but we want them to act as a team, have smooth action, kind of behave in a cohort in a way that maintains the structural integrity of the movement that you're trying to make. So I'm mechanically opening up the length, grabbing into the muscles, and I have just a lot of hand memory in addition to having studied a fair amount of anatomy, kinesiology. And so like I'm having expectations of where the muscles in your neck are going to be, and any disruption from the map that I have of what is the most functional placement of these muscles, and just giving that whole length of muscle chain more stimulation so that the nervous system can register where it actually is in space. A lot of times that'll cause it to automatically correct. And I'm excited for when you get vertical and you can feel the difference between how those shoulders felt when you laid down and when you get up. Okay. I'm gonna tuck Arthur in. And realign here. Okay. Let's try this. Hi. How are you doing with that pressure?
It feels good.
Good. Are we approaching that intensity level that you were after?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Yeah. Really focusing in on this chain. I'm just a little bit posterior to the IT band right now, but I'm wanting to clip into the IT band. I'm also grabbing this vastus lateralis muscle. And the way that the hamstrings are attaching in. Hamstrings are attaching in to the ischial tuberosity. So we are going for a little higher intensity right now so that we can get that rush bliss sensation. We want to kick the endocrine system up. To have an experience. Nice. Got that kick going there. Okay. So as I'm tipping, can you feel how through the hips there's this involuntary protective mechanism going off where the tension is firing as we move through certain places and then we get those drops?
Yeah.
So that's our evidence that the neuromuscular system is engaged and it's working on active recoordination right now. I've got a little pull here. I want you to kind of tune into how I'm going to keep supporting your ankle. There's nothing abrupt going to happen with this foot here, but we've got the fascia system engaged all the way up, pulling into, I'm still picking it up like at your armpit. Can you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give it a second. I know this is maybe not what you were expecting with deep work, but this is actually a big part of coordinating that tissue action and tying together the big systems of the body where we've got mechanisms all the way from the knee running up into the shoulder and everything is literally connected. So I'm going to ease through that. Now we're dropping off a little bit the impact here in the ribs. Good job. Still some protection happening here. Try doing it like a deep breath right into the palm of my hand. Yeah. A couple more of those. Yes. Nice. So I can't promise that you're going to instantly do the splits now, but your hip motility actually just significantly improved, and I'm really happy about what I felt there. And this action here is smoother as I'm moving you through. That resistance is more confined into the hip joint itself instead of being engaged so much all the way up the torso. You notice the difference?
Oh, yeah.
Good. The hip is feeling very responsible now. So it's giving us more resistance than it was before, now that it doesn't have help all the way up from the shoulder. That's okay. I'm just gonna kind of tease the, oh, nice. Okay, so now we got the femur just dropped in the socket a little bit more aligned there, a little bit less distorted positioning. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna get some endorphins going. Just for the couple of viewers we've got sitting there right now, I want to clarify, I don't usually talk a lot during a session, but we're building up some footage to really try to make it easier for people to visualize what happens in a massage treatment room, especially for people who have never had massage before. And even for people who have had massage before, I find that a lot of us don't have a clear idea of what happens with other people and the huge variety of treatments that can be happening in a massage therapist's office is kind of invisible because each of us as clients are getting the experience that's more calibrated to our own body's needs, hopefully, if you're seeing a good therapist. And so I am on a mission to help people understand the power of skilled touch therapies and the extent that we can use them to address things that the mainstream medical system either can't really do anything about or only has really big guns to fire at the issue. So if you're not looking for surgery or opioid medications, you might not be able to get any relief or comfort with some of these problems from pain issues that are specific in certain locations of the body, but also into the mental health realm, and the impact that skilled touch has on the nervous system is also really profound. So I'm wanting to collect a lot of material that helps people conceive of the tools that they have at their disposal, and to also just elevate the work of massage therapists, body workers, skilled touch practitioners that are helping people change how they feel on purpose every day, all over. Most of us tend to be pretty shy, really camera shy. And so there's not actually a lot of footage devoted to covering stuff like this. And what there is, I find, is largely aimed at training material for incoming therapists or for massage therapists to be developing their skill sets as practitioners. That's all super great, but part of my mission here is to just make it easier for people to find what they need and to see the possibilities outside of the mainstream medical system, to get closer into comfort, peace, and recovery. I'm actually fairly shy myself. I'm actually very camera shy. And I've spent most of the last year trying to build up my capacity to do this work in front of a camera, be aware of observers. It's surprisingly challenging. But I just find that I'm willing to do it and it feels really important to me. So I'm playing around with the resources that we have as we're at this bizarre cusp of transition in society where like virtual reality and artificial intelligence, all this stuff is coming in. Like, I really don't want touch therapies to get lost and left behind just because they're something that the technological side of society doesn't fully understand or have a place for yet. So that's part of my mission too. All right. Nobody's in here. So it's a good time for me to just talk straight to Mika. I'm hoping that we generate a pretty great hook somewhere in the process, maybe at the end when we're doing a review on what we accomplished with the client. But I'll go ahead and introduce myself here. I'm Adele Lefevre. I'm a massage therapist, licensed massage therapist. I'm going to start that over because I'm a dork. I'm Adele Lefevre. I'm a licensed massage therapist practicing in Hilo, Hawaii. It's on the Big Island. I'm an anatomy instructor for massage therapists. I'm also the president of the Hawaii chapter of the American Massage Therapy Association. So I get to work with a lot of other massage therapists and put our voices together to try to bring our message of skilled touch as a powerful medicine that can compete with a lot of the open gaps in mainstream medicine that we're having a hard time answering as a society. I'm also technically a board certified health coach. I don't do any virtual coaching online or anything like that, but I like to have the versatility in my scope of practice to talk with my clients more about their emotional health issues and any questions that they have about diet and exercise, just a little more, like I said, scope of practice possibility there. And today I'm working on my wonderful volunteer client who is a real person who volunteered to help me. Arthur is a dear friend of mine, and he's having his very first massage ever. We're going for a bliss rush, meaning we want to fire off as many endorphins as possible and get him in a state of really integrated nervous system with some good strong endocrine activity that's energizing and wholesome and non-drug high, if you will. So I'm really playing into his deep tissue mechanoreceptors and kind of yanking the fascia around to get a high level of stimulation. And I'm making these videos because I want to show people what a real bodywork session is about and the huge versatility of goals that my clients can come in with and the different sets of techniques that we might bring to bear depending on what they're hoping to experience on the table and in the days and weeks after getting on the table. Damn, I sound pretty good right now. Thanks for holding space, Arthur.
Yeah, I think you sound pretty good too.
He's just letting me like talk to myself in a room while he like vaguely naps. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Seriously though, it super helps me to like work through this stuff. I've done some of these videos, but I've been like this is definitely the most relaxed and mentally organized that I've been yet. And the first couple that I did, I was like, couldn't make eye contact with the camera at all. Like I was like, if I look at it, there might be somebody watching me. And if I see somebody watching me, I'm going to totally forget what I'm doing. So it literally has been like a year-long process of building up my ability to like stay in the mechanical groove to keep my hands doing the right thing while knowing that like somebody out there might be looking at me.
Yeah.
I go back and forth on like, should I stay super professional so that it's like easy for all of the like super nice like Minnesota mom massage therapists to like appreciate what I'm doing and it just makes sense and they're like, yeah, that's cool. Or like, you know, how much to go off also. I mean, not like it's relaxing for you if I rage out and like swear or something, you know, but really working to find my balance on being natural on camera and understanding like the intense amount of information involved in like bringing this ancient traditional practice into view on a technological level in this like whole modern age stuff. And most of my colleagues honestly are still a little bit like head in the sand about the changes that are coming up, and I just am wanting to figure out how to really express the passion that I have to make sure that touch base therapies don't get underrepresented in the medical system of the future, and that we recover the really profound and research backed impacts that we can get out of body work for such a huge range of conditions and goals. But I'm just a little dork. For this session, we're going to clean up this footage and repost it in a more organized, more watchable format, perhaps. Chop up a bunch of clips so that all those little moments that we got can be shared and spread to people who might be curious about what's going on in massage therapy treatment rooms all over America and around the world. Oh yeah. So this leg, I was not picking up as much restriction in the hip as we were on the other side. I will do a little bit more of that range of motion, kind of put it through rotation now that I'm finishing up the foot. But I'm just not seeing it activate all the way up into the shoulder the way that we were seeing on the other side. And that makes sense to me. It's pretty common that we have sort of a asymmetrical spiral where our structure is adapting to try to stabilize. And so if we know that the right shoulder has already been kind of coiled up a bit, and then the left hip was also giving us some reactivity, I'm wanting to pay attention into the right ankle and knee more so also. And I'm expecting there to be a bit of restriction somewhere in there. Because that's often how it goes when we're passing the weight of the body around in that sort of spiral shape, trying to accommodate one area being tight, then it's going to often cross to the other side of the body that there's a space that is holding on to create enough stability to keep basically moving through space for that. And I do want to get in a little deeper here. So as the hamstrings are crossing the knee right here, we're picking up that. That's where I was expecting to find a little bit of constriction on the knee. So I'm just kind of mechanically jumping that up. You might even be able to see that in the video right here. We've got this line. I'm going to try to pull it closer. Okay, so we're really showing this up here. So this kind of medial edge of the hamstring side, we can feel it crossing the knee where we're going to get that action. And I'm giving a fair amount of pressure because I want those deep mechanoreceptors to respond to this and map your body for me. But I'm not pulling them especially out of alignment. I don't need to distort them. I don't really need to do anything super drastic. I want them to know where they are and do their job. So I'm just going to keep flossing this line. This is called linear friction. When I'm putting pressure and shearing force through the muscle, but in alignment with the fibers. And this is going to stretch those fibers to their natural length. We just got a little bit of a kick. Beautiful neuromuscular engagement there. Yeah. And this is actually quite specific. But whereas we had a much more general tendency for the fascia and muscle system to be just a bit tightened up on the left side from the hip up into the shoulder, we have a pretty tight, limited little set of muscle fibers on the right side, just above the knee, that's really engaging there. And that might be connected to what you were describing about the knees being a little tender with more activity lately. So we're not surprised by this, but it is interesting. And we want the body to really notice it and bring back that aware calibration into this segment of tissue. There's that kick. Perfect. Love it. So letting it just fall open to the natural resting point, and then we're feeling right here, there's this limit where it's automatically giving us some extra tension. And as your nervous system recognizes, registers that limitation, then we're getting these tiny kind of millimeter drops where the foot's able to rotate even further out. So I'm going to give that just a moment of support there. And just like earlier, if you can keep breathing that abdominal breath and allow your awareness to really track down into my hand that's right on the medial edge of the knee. It's lifting. Ooh, we're getting some engagement all the way up the spine as you tune in for that Okay, on the next breath, I want you to feel how this is actually even connecting into your neck. Yes. Really activating some neurological activity right here. Good. Okay. And I'll just rock that back into position a little bit. Some jostling to help desensitize that. We've got it opened up. Okay. Woo. I like it. How are you feeling so far?
Pretty relaxed.
Pretty relaxed. Good. Okay. I'm going to reposition the camera for a second. You can just look at me while we turn you over. So I'm going to pull out the cushion from under your ankles. And I'm holding the sheet up over you a little bit like a tent. You can go ahead and turn over, face up to the sky. Perfect. And then slide just a bit towards your feet. And I'm going to take the head cushion out from under you. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Oh, hey. Today I've got my very good friend Arthur on the table. And he is going for a goal of bliss / rush. So we're trying to activate some endocrine activity. We want to really see some endorphins kick up, and that's the main goal here. But we've also been finding some really great neuromuscular indications where we can get more coordination built up there. And yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. And try to line that up. How's this sound right now? Still good? Okay. So this is the right shoulder where Arthur was saying he's got some ongoing sensitization here, and he's often aware of there being a bit of a constriction. I'm feeling through. This is right where you were talking about it earlier, kind of up that more medial edge, yeah. So I can feel that actually the structure is really showing up. And I'm gonna try to maybe lift this. When I get, there we go. I'm gonna get up high enough that you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Yes. Yes. So we're pretty comfortable already. We've been going for a while. This is turning into a bit of a longer session, which is fine because I'm always a little slower when I'm talking. And get some movement and mobility here. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling what you're describing, where we have the way the humerus is interacting with the shoulder girdle is a bit destabilized. So I'm going to tuck in and grab these pectoralis muscles. I want to convince them to soften up a little bit, and that will allow the rhomboids on the back, which we were working on at the very beginning, to have a more natural grab on the scapula as well. This is all connected. I'm thinking I kind of want to put a, oh yeah, that was nice. I'm going to grab something for your eyes, okay? Okay. So for my regular sessions, I usually don't have the light on, but for the video sessions, we're trying to make it as visible, as easy to watch as possible. So it's really bright right in your face right now. All right. I'm going to just work through here. And I don't want to increase the sensitization on this area that's already kicking back a little bit, but I do want to help it map and bring up that spatial awareness. And I want to give some good deep stimulation, just like we were doing it everywhere else, so that we've got your fascia really ironed out and your deep tissue mechanoreceptors activated simultaneously, because that's really going to increase our endocrine activity and help us get those endorphins kicked up for a bit of a rush when you get up. Okay. I like the forearm action here. You don't ever get kind of tenderness through the elbows?
No, I don't think so.
Not really. Okay, good. Why, thank you. Yes. All right. Kicked up the blood flow here. We've got circulation in the hand rising rapidly. I'm going to help it make a little space and then kind of guide it. So massage therapy generally really activates the lymphatic system, and it has a lot of impact on circulation. So that's something that I'm always tracking, how the fluid dynamics are happening inside my clients as we work here, in addition to the structural information of how the bones and alignment of each joint compare to what I'm picking up as the ideal, the way that the connective tissue is jumping the joints and allowing the information of the nervous system to translate effectively through movement. So there you go. Sometimes there's just a little bit of involuntary resistance and we can jostle it out, which is basically playing on the vibration receptors in the nervous system. That's an amazing way of saying that. Yes. As I was describing earlier, it's been a process of really teaching my nervous system to stay level enough while there's this sense of being watched, of being aware of people out there possibly looking at me, looking at what I'm doing. And so for a lot of the last year, I've been very gradually building up my tolerance for being on camera at the same time as doing this work. I'm going to rotate this a little bit and head over to Arthur's other arm. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's a little better. Okay. So we're just in my regular treatment room in Hilo on the big island of Hawaii, hanging out. Yeah. And that is more stable on this side, huh? Chill.
I can't really tell.
That was part of the process, right? Is like having the, whether or not people are talking while they're working on you, just your low level brain, your coordination into the somatic awareness is going to automatically improve as you receive massage therapy or really any kind of somatic sequenced experience that helps the mind just kind of map where we are in space. Ooh, I like that. Movement on through your whole thorax here. So we are getting that engagement back up here. So I'm going to actually get a little bit of a bite right into that spot. Take a deep breath. So we got that a little opened up, and then that stimulation and attention migrated away and it ceased back up a little bit. So we want to remind it of the progress that we decided to make on this arm. A lot of time, the nervous system needs around 20 seconds to respond to any new stimulus or intervention to even just get a baseline response mounted. So I'm going to let that play out, and I can feel it start to shift. Your nervous system knows I'm here. And yeah, there we go. That little moment is one of the kind of witchier parts of my day-to-day, but I find that like when I really track in my own nervous system, the expectation that something is going to change in your body, that it's as though the client's body like picks up the clue and gets a little bit better track of what to do. So I liked that. Yeah. So just jostling through. This is poetry. Okay. Let me grab my chair, love, and move to your neck. Okay. gonna whisper while we do a still hold and just go through these last few points I was supposed to say. All right. I'm Adele Lefevre. I'm a licensed massage therapist in Hilo, Hawaii. I'm a massage therapy instructor, board certified health coach, and president of the Hawaii State American Massage Therapy Association as a volunteer. I'm doing this live massage session with my wonderful client who agreed to be filmed and live streamed, and kindly shared his session with us. His goals for the session were a bliss rush, so that's our target, to activate the endocrine system. And my goals for this session were to create a live stream. We're going to clean it up for clarity, break it into clips, and make it available to help people get a glimpse of what goes on inside a massage therapy session. Of course, this one's a little different because you're here watching. So welcome and thank you for watching. Please follow to see the complete session, clips, and next session. And especially reaching out to any healers or aspiring healers that joined us. I have a set of guided meditations for studying anatomy on a kind of colloquial healer level. And I'd love if you check them out. I'm going to redo them eventually, but I'd love to get some feedback on the aspects of the recording strategy that could make it an even better experience for you all. But I'm getting some good feedback already that it's helpful for people trying to get an idea of how to connect with the language and terminology of anatomy. So I'd love to get a preliminary review of that. I'm gonna gently pull out here. I'm expecting that blissy state to already be activated. Now we're in pretty deep parasympathetic activation. I want to do some nerve strokes to turn your system back up before you get off the table to really close with a bit more of a rush. Sound good? Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. I'm going to step out. Take your time, okay? And the microphone's still kind of attached to you, so we'll be able to hear you but not see you.
Okay.
If you start singing a song or something. All right. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to wash up while Arthur gets himself dressed and ready, and then we'll have a few minutes to review how that was for him as his very first ever massage therapy session, and how much we were able to activate his goals. I'll take a couple of questions while I'm waiting for him, I guess. Let's see. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see. I've got some comments here. I kind of pay super close attention. I'd love to have somebody else holding the camera for me to just kind of keep track of the questions as they come in and be able to read them out for me and, you know, not be myself moving around the tripod in the middle. But scrolling back here, super appreciate all your comments. James Anderson, great to have you back on a live stream with me. You said some really lovely things here. And yes, I agree, an angular camera would come in handy. Thinking about doing that next time. Ooh, this is very poetic. Every stroke executed with rhythmic cadence serves as a reverential homage to the body's innate vitality. I love that. I want to screenshot it, but I don't know how. Yeah, sternocleidomastoid, we definitely jumped in there. I love getting into that temporomandibular joint. And suboccipital muscles, we were loosening into that. His were actually remarkably well balanced. So that's usually an area where I see a lot of tension and imbalance in the suboccipital muscles, but Arthur was in great shape for that. And yes, we are, thanks, we are in Hawaii. Stressed out skeletons go for anatomy therapy sessions. That's playful. And imagine seeing him jump up and down in jubilation. We're about to find out what exactly his response is to this whole new experience. So come on with me. All right.
Hello.
We can see you.
Hello.
You want to jump outside?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Just because the other practitioners in here are kind of noisy sometimes. So are the children, but it's okay. All right. So, how are you doing?
I feel like dreamy,
Dreamy.
good, relaxed.
Dreamy, relaxed.
Rested, like I just woke up from a really good dream or something.
Yes, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Rested. Like woke up from a really great dream. I think I want to move further away from us. Sliding down. There. That'll work. There. I'll just be right up against you. Okay. So, rested like a really good dream. Can you share some of your experience? How was that for you?
So at the beginning, I didn't know much about massage therapy or like what to expect.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize there was so many places in my body that actually needed attention.
Isn't it amazing?
It's easy to just go about your day ignoring what your body might be trying to tell you. And like as soon as you started working on one area, I'm like, oh wow, I feel a lot more than I
Yeah.
thought I would.
Yes. So much information deeply embedded in there.
Yeah.
All right. So we started out at like kind of a 1 on the bliss rush scale. Let's break it into 2 scales. How's that sound?
Okay.
How's your bliss right now?
Probably like 9.
Yes. I love winning that. And how about your rush scale?
I mean, not too much of a rush, but
Not
it's
too rushed
like
right now.
if you add them together, like getting a rush of bliss, then
A rush of bliss. Cool.
Then it's pretty good.
All right. All right. I am going to be honest. I feel like most of the time when people are coming off the table, that like settled bliss experience is the more active part. But I would expect after your body has been kind of experiencing this level of like circulation activation,
Yeah.
that the rush might come later. Like 3-4 hours from now might be
Yeah.
like a great time to like cut a stack of logs up for the winter or something. So, I don't know. Text me and let me know how that goes.
Yeah,
if
we'll
you
keep you updated.
notice any extra sensations. Yeah, I'm so glad you came out. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a good experience. And if you haven't got a massage before and you're new to this like me, I would 100% recommend it.
Thank you, Arthur. I love you.
I love you.
All right. We're going to peace out. Have a great rest of your day, all of you. And thanks for hanging out.